All right, well, hello. Good afternoon. My name is Dominic Licavoli, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, my wife and I are going to do a review of our 2018 Chevy Bolt Premier. We've had this vehicle since May of 2018, so roughly 3 years and 2 months. So let's get rolling. Well, we've had this car 3 years, 2 months. We've put 51,450 miles on it. I think the first thing I'll start out with is what I consider the only bad negative. And that is the battery recall from General Motors on the LG Chem battery. I guess a handful of bolts caught fire. And so they were asking people to park them out in the street and away from the house. So just as a precautionary measure, we went ahead and complied with the recall. Since then, GM has agreed to buy back our Bolt, and so we have just finalized that, and it was a nice deal they gave us. So now what we'll do is we'll decide this fall whether we'll replace it with another Bolt or a standard range Model 3. But however, for this purpose of this video, we're going to really review the Chevy Bolt and how it's been for us over the years. A lot of positives. We did a lot of road trips in this, right? When I first got it, we went up, went to Novato, California, went to Kerman, right? Kerman. A lot of trips to Kerman, right? Of course, the first one I had to make by myself because it's right after I bought it, and you didn't trust the car. And so we did. The only downside I would say is the charge rate. When the Bolt first came out, it was charging at 55 kilowatts, and today it's still charging at 55 kilowatts. Back then, that's all there was. That's all, other than Tesla. All the cars were charging at that rate. So, but now I just don't understand why GM hasn't stepped it up and up the level of charge rate on this car. I mean, I'd like to see them even go to 72 or 100 kilowatts. You know, that would make a huge difference, especially if you want to travel in this. And I view this car as a great car for short commutes around town, anything round trip under 200 miles. It's a beautiful car, a lot of storage, a lot of space in the back. But you know, I don't want to take all the time away from my wife because she really loves this car. She's put a majority of that 51,000 miles on this car.
And this is my last drive.
This is her last drive before we turn.
I'm a little heartbroken right now.
So why don't you sort of explain what you like and what you don't like about the Bolt?
Well, like you said, it has a lot of storage, so I've loved the storage. I've loved using it for dog agility. There's a lot of room in the back seat. I don't know if you can see the Wookiee back there, but he's there in his car seat traveling with us, as is our other little rescue dog, Sunday. And it's been great for short commutes and trips to Temecula, just hour trips, hour there, hour back. So I also love the regenning feature on it. I love to hypermile in this thing and regen the miles back on. That's been the most fun thing for me.
It's basically
it keeps me occupied.
You're a nightmare on the road.
I do. I like to hypermile. I don't think the people around me like it when I'm hypermiling, but I do like to hypermile and put those miles back on. It's just been a great all-around car. Great size, great comfort, headroom, and everything. So it's going to be hard for me to part with it. I'm really torn. I have to go back today. I gassed up the Ford Escape and spent that $40 to get that gas tank full. Haven't done that in a while. So that's going to hurt. And yeah, that's just where we are right now. So anyway.
Well, that's, I think some of the issues you've had, I think the reason why I say it's a great car for short commutes, 100 mile or 200 miles round trip or less. We basically found with this car, that's what we can do, about 200 miles round trip without having to stop and charge. We still have about 40 to 60 miles worth of range when we get back home. And the reason being is just we've had a lot of issues using the infrastructure to charge the car. And what are some of the issues you've had when you stopped to charge?
Well, it's not a comfortable situation always. Usually, unlike Tesla, where they might have 20 stations, 30 stations, and there's food and facilities nearby. For instance, when I come home from Temecula, there's a place to charge in a parking lot, and there's 2 stalls, and hopefully nobody is parked in those, just to park. And once in a while, one might be broken, and they're not always in the best areas and the safest places, so I'm not always comfortable charging. That's why I don't go long distances in this car.
Well, I think the last time you were there was like a family dispute.
Yeah, there was a family dispute, and they were fighting through the window of a car, and I was debating, should I get out and unplug? Should I hide under the dash? Act like I'm not here? What do I do? Because it got quite lively.
Yeah, what I've noticed too, as far as degradation on the battery, right now we're locked, but at 94% it was charged up to 207 miles. If you take the Chevy Bolt range at 238 miles and go 94%, it should show 238 miles worth, or 223 miles worth of range. So, you know, if we go by that, it's probably showing, you know, about 17 or 16 miles worth of degradation. However, but right now, since we've been driving, and now the battery's, you know, showing 212 miles of range, so it always fluctuates. So it's really hard to nail down on degradation in this car, as far as I'm concerned, because it adds and takes off mileage so quick. But if you go just by after a charge, we're looking at 17 miles of degradation in 3 years and 51,000 miles, which is not bad at all. So the car passed that test. The seats in the car took a bad hit in the beginning. I never really experienced the seats that came out in the first year Bolt. However, in the 2018 Chevy Bolt, you know, I'm 6'3", roughly around 235 pounds. I don't have an issue with the seats in this car. They're all right for me. Are they perfect? No, but they're not bad. I don't really see a reason for slamming them.
The seat heaters are great. They work good.
The seat heaters work great.
Yes.
The car is so easy to maintain, and you know, I'll have a link in the description of this video to my other video that I did on the Chevy Bolt maintenance, where I demonstrate how to change out the cabin air filter. It's so easy. You can do it yourself for about 17 bucks, and GM wants to charge you almost 90 for it. So make sure you watch that video, because this car is just a breeze to take care of. It's real low maintenance. I haven't had any maintenance issues other than me changing out the cabin air filter and getting the tires rotated, which we've changed some tires. We got a new set of tires on it, so the tire rotations are free. That's it. So it's very low on maintenance. A lot of room in the back. Not real high on technology, but it's basic. It's simple.
Which I like. I'm not sure I want any more technology than I have on the Bolt. It has just enough. It gets you where you're going. You don't have to deal with a big computer screen.
There's one thing with the Bolt that it really gives you instant gratification and feedback on the regen process, whether you're taking miles off or you're adding miles on. It does it real time, which, you know, I mean, that can be fun, you know, but I think I wish GM would change that and go more to a system like Tesla has, which does more of a long-term calculation on range. In other words, I won't see that kind of regenning on my car, but I will get more range out of it than I would on this Bolt, because it's more efficient, and the computer system just calculates range over longer periods of times based on your driving. And so I sort of like that long-term effect more than the quick term when you get here. Like this will show you adding miles when you're going downhill, and you'll add a lot of miles. But the minute you start climbing uphill, then it'll start taking a lot of miles off.
I need that instant gratification like a slot machine.
But one of the things
happy.
one of the things nice about the Chevy too is over on the side they'll show you the maximum range you have, the average range, and then the minimum range. And so I sort of like that feature because when I'm driving this, and if I'm driving long distances, I always go by the minimum range available to trip plan, and so to try and figure out where I'm going to stop. So that's a pretty nice feature. I like that. And I can get the same thing on the Tesla screen when you look up on the energy screen on the Tesla. But I like the display right there in front of me, and it's nice. Let me see what else. The car's comfortable. I like the car. It's real comfortable. I don't think we can really say anything more about it. I mean, it's really a nice car. I mean, I think Chevy did a good job with it. I think they need to up their game now, and they need to increase the charging speed on this car. I would also like to see them get this car a little closer to maybe 275 or 300 miles worth of range. You know, to get up there with the big boys. But 259 miles is nothing to sneeze at. This car does really well with the 259 miles of range. But once again, I think I'd like to see it closer to 300, between the 275 and 300 range.
I think it's easy to get in and out of too. I like the fact that you don't have to step down, you don't have to step up. It's easy just to get in and out.
Yeah, it is.
Super comfortable to ride in. The seats are comfortable. It's just a really comfortable car.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to miss it terribly.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think we should replace this one with another Bolt, or do you think the wife should get a Tesla Model 3 standard range? We don't know. We've got several months to decide. We're counting on you to help us. I'm leaning one way, wife is leaning the other way. Stand by for that purchase.
Either way, though, we all know who's paying for it.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel. Take care. See you later. Have a great day.